Hello friends. Before we start today's stories, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment which story you like most, where you're from, and what time you're watching. That way, YouTube will keep showing you stories just like this one. Now, let's begin. In 2019, a solo travel YouTuber named Hannah Cole disappeared somewhere along the Alaskan wilderness. Her YouTube channel, Wanderlight, had over 2 million subscribers. She was known for her calm voice, cinematic nature shots, and her obsession with filming remote, untouched places. Her last upload was titled, Into the Quiet Wild. It was supposed to be a 5-part travel vlog documenting her solo journey through Denali National Park. Only one part was ever uploaded. The video had all the familiar Hannah aesthetics: slow drone shots of mountains, soft piano, her voice narrating about peace and solitude. But there was something off about this one. The editing was disjointed. The background audio was slightly distorted. And in one scene, when she pans across the frozen landscape, a blurred figure can be seen standing far in the distance, half hidden behind the snow trees. Her fans thought it was an Easter egg, a mysterious artistic choice. It wasn't. Hannah wasn't just a travel vlogger. She was aesthetic perfection incarnate. Everything on her channel looked like a film. Sunlight leaking through pine trees. Morning coffee beside misty lakes. Her captions were poetic. There's peace in being nowhere. She rarely spoke about her personal life. No family, no relationships, only nature and solitude. But 6 months before her disappearance, her tone shifted. In one upload, silence feels different here. She seemed uneasy. She looked thinner. Her eyes darted toward the edges of the frame, as if someone was behind the camera. Sometimes, she said softly, you feel like the forest is listening back. Her audience praised her for depth, not realizing they were watching her unravel. In June 2019, she announced her most ambitious series yet. I'm heading north, deep into Alaska. Solo, off-grid, no crew, no guide, just me and my camera. She'd bought a refurbished Canon EOS R, 2 drones, a satellite phone, and a rented SUV. Her plan was to document 14 days alone, sleeping in her car, hiking by day, editing by night. She sent a final message to her manager. If I don't text for a while, don't worry, I'll be offline. Then she vanished from cell service. The next update anyone saw was the first and only part of her new video, uploaded automatically through YouTube's scheduled posting system. The video dropped on July 12th, titled Into the Quiet Wild, Part 1. It felt wrong. Her voiceover was slower. There were long pauses, moments where the camera just lingered on empty roads or silent woods. Midway through, she records herself inside her car. It's 1:37 a.m. I parked off the main trail near Devil's Pass. There's no signal here. But I swear, I saw a light. A small light, moving between the trees. Her face twitches slightly. She laughs it off nervously. Probably a reflection, or a ranger. But fans noticed something else. A low whisper caught beneath her audio track. It wasn't background noise. It was words. Barely audible, slowed down. Don't go there. You can only hear it if you boost the volume. Thousands of commenters noticed it. Within hours, the video went viral. The creepiest travel vlog ever. But no one realized it was real. When Hannah didn't return home or post part 2, her manager filed a missing person report. Her car was found a week later, near a dirt road leading toward Denali National Park's Devil's Ridge Trail. The doors were locked, Her laptop and camera were missing. Only her drone case and a broken tripod lay inside. The ranger who found her car, Mike Ainsley, said, "It looked like she stopped for the night, but there were footprints leading out. Just one set. Then nothing." Her satellite phone pinged one last time 3 miles north of the vehicle, then went dead. Months later, during snowmelt season, hikers discovered a waterlogged SD card wedged in a rock crevice near a frozen creek. It was labeled quietwild_2. When investigators accessed it, most of the files were corrupted, but a few fragments survived. The recovered clips were chilling. In one shot, she's walking through fog, whispering, "I hear something following me." It's not an animal. It's footsteps. In another, her drone footage captures faint movement behind the tree line. Not a person, but something standing upright in the mist, still as stone. And in her final clear clip, she whispers into the camera, "If someone finds this, I think someone's watching me. I don't think I'm alone." Then static. The official report listed her as missing, presumed dead due to exposure. But many didn't believe that. In 2020, a Reddit user named u/NorthViewArc posted something bizarre. He'd downloaded Hannah's last video back when it was first uploaded. But when he replayed it a year later, the metadata had changed. The upload date still said July 12th, but the file checksum didn't match the original. And there was one new frame at the end, a single, glitched still, 0.3 seconds long. It showed Hannah's face in the dark, eyes wide, mouth open, but not screaming. Behind her, a hand-shaped shadow stretched across the window of her car. The frame shouldn't have been there. The YouTube compression log confirmed no edits were made since 2019. Locals near Denali began talking. Truckers said they'd seen strange lights near the ridge that summer, bright flashes, as if someone were using a flare. One ranger claimed he heard a woman's voice calling for help late at night. But when they followed the sound, it just stopped. An old trapper, living 50 miles from town, said, "A girl came by once, quiet, scared. She asked for a map, said she was looking for the other road. I told her there ain't another road north of there. She just smiled and left her coffee half full. No one saw her again. To this day, there are dozens of theories about what happened to Hannah Cole. Exposure. She got lost, froze to death, and her footage was tampered with later. Stalker. Someone followed her into the woods, obsessed with her channel. Cult connection. Locals speak of off-grid groups in Alaska that collect wanderers. Psychological break. Isolation triggered hallucinations, and she filmed her own descent. But none of that explains the metadata anomalies, or the fact that her YouTube channel occasionally auto-reactivates itself. Every few months, her profile picture changes, just slightly. Her face is looking in a different direction. YouTube denies this is possible. Hannah Cole's disappearance remains one of the most unsettling modern mysteries of the YouTube era. Her story became a warning, a quiet reminder that the world isn't built for solitude, and that sometimes, when you point a camera into the wild, something might be looking back through the lens. The last comment ever posted on her channel appeared 2 years later. No username, just one sentence. Part 2 is almost ready. In the summer of 2020, 5 YouTube creators signed a deal that promised to change their lives. A Los Angeles media company offered them a fully funded luxury mansion to film daily content in, a collab house. They called it the glass house. What followed inside those glass walls would never be posted. The group wasn't famous yet. They were mid-tier creators. Eli Harper, filmmaker and vlogger, 28. Jesse Lane, prank YouTuber with chaotic energy. Kara Holt, lifestyle influencer, fitness content. Ben and Troy Carter, twin gamers who ran a comedy channel. They had a combined reach of 1.8 million subscribers. A startup called Nova Creatives approached them with a contract. We'll handle brand deals, housing, and production costs. You just make content. The house, a $4.2 million modern mansion on the edge of Malibu Hills, was perfect. All glass walls, infinity pool, minimalist interior, the kind of place made for thumbnails. They moved in on July 3rd, 2020. Within 48 hours, something felt off. The first few days were chaos. Unboxing videos, pool pranks, vlogs. But Eli noticed things. At night, the automatic blinds didn't always close. The glass reflected shapes wrong, as if someone else was standing just outside frame. And every room had cameras, not theirs. Built-in ceiling cameras, tiny ones, disguised as motion sensors. When Eli mentioned it to Nova's rep, she said, "Oh, those are just for property security. You'll get used to it." But the footage from those cameras, they never saw it. Only the company had access. On July 10th, during a live Q&A on Kara's channel, the chat exploded. "Who's that behind you? There's someone walking upstairs. WTF, look at the glass door." Kara turned around. No one there. They laughed it off, called it ghost viewers. But when they rewatched the clip, they saw it too. A tall, thin figure passing by the hallway reflection, though no one was upstairs. They assumed it was Ben. But Ben was streaming in the gaming room. Live. Over the next weeks, their behavior changed. They argued constantly about petty things. Jesse stopped sleeping. He claimed he could hear whispering through the house intercom system at night. Kara started filming herself obsessively, saying she didn't trust the security cameras. Ben and Troy quit uploading, saying the house was bad energy. Eli began noticing time gaps. He'd edit footage and find entire hours missing from his vlogs, corrupted. Sometimes clips appeared that he didn't shoot, like one labeled Test Feed 0722. It showed him sleeping, filmed from above. One night, around 2 a.m., Eli followed a faint mechanical hum through the hallway. It led to a locked door near the garage. When he picked it open, his heart froze. Inside was a server room, racks of hard drives and monitors showing live feeds from every room in the mansion. The walls were labeled with code names: K1, Kara bedroom, E2, Eli shower cam, B3, pool rear. And someone was logged in remotely. A cursor moved on its own. The system said, REC, active. He yanked the main power, but the fans kept spinning. No power cord connected to them. He ran back upstairs. Every screen in the house flickered. The intercom turned on by itself. "Go back to bed, Eli." The voice wasn't male or female. It was synthetic. By August, the group had completely broken down. Jesse left first, claiming he didn't like being watched. 2 days later, Kara went missing. She'd left her car keys, phone, and camera. All that remained was a half-recorded vlog on her SD card. In it, she's crying, whispering, "They're not deleting footage. They're replacing it. My videos aren't mine anymore." Police found no signs of foul play. Nova Creatives claimed she terminated her contract and left voluntarily. Eli didn't believe them. Eli confronted Nova's main representative, Victoria Haynes, outside the house. He recorded everything. Eli, You're spying on us. You know that's illegal, right? Victoria. Everything recorded here belongs to Nova. You signed the content clause. Eli. That doesn't give you the right to… Victoria. You don't understand. This house is the product. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. You think your content was for YouTube? You've been part of a behavior study. When Eli uploaded that confrontation video, it vanished within minutes. YouTube cited community guidelines violations. His entire channel disappeared overnight. By September, only Eli and Ben remained. Ben started filming everything, whispering that they can't control all the feeds. But 2 days later, his camera was found, smashed beside the pool. The footage recovered from the memory card was silent, just static, and one frame of Ben's terrified face looking upward. Eli packed up and left the next morning. He didn't tell anyone where he went. He sent one last text to his brother. Don't trust Nova. They're still recording. That was the last message ever received from him. The mansion was later vacated. Neighbors say black SUVs came at night, taking out all the hardware. Nova Creatives quietly dissolved months later. No public lawsuits, no news coverage. But 1 year later, a new influencer house popped up online, under a different name. Same layout, same cameras. The new tenants? They claimed they'd found hidden drives in the basement, labeled with old creator names, including EliCam_main feed. When they tried opening one of the files, the screen glitched and played a video of Eli looking directly into the camera, whispering, "You shouldn't be watching this." Then static. The glass house was never haunted by ghosts. It was haunted by an algorithm, a system designed to study, manipulate, and replace human behavior for content. In the end, it wasn't the house that drove them insane. It was the idea that nothing online ever truly stops recording. In March 2021, a small-time filmmaker named Dylan Reese began receiving anonymous video clips through his business email. The first file was titled, simply, "YouSleep1.move." When he opened it, he froze. The footage showed himself lying in bed, asleep. Filmed from the corner of his own apartment, Dylan wasn't famous. He was 32, living in Portland, Oregon, a freelance editor, part-time YouTuber, and cinematographer for hire. He ran a small channel called Frame Story, where he reviewed cameras and taught editing tricks. A modest following, 68,000 subscribers, but he had loyal fans. He lived alone in a one-bedroom loft apartment, minimalist setup, desk, editing rig, blackout curtains, and security door. He liked solitude, the kind of quiet that lets you focus on sound design. So when that first email arrived, no subject, no sender, he assumed it was spam. But curiosity killed his peace. The attachment took a few seconds to buffer. When it opened, it showed grainy black and white footage from a slightly elevated angle. He instantly recognized the layout: his bedroom, his own bed, his own blanket. He was lying there, mouth slightly open, breathing slowly. The timestamp read 03:18 a.m., March 6th. The camera moved slightly, like someone holding it. The frame zoomed in on his face. Then, a faint whisper from behind the camera. "Still breathing." Dylan slammed his laptop shut. He searched the apartment. Nothing. The door was locked from inside, windows sealed. He even checked the air vent. No one was there. He told himself it was fake, a prank, maybe deepfake technology. But inside, something broke. 2 days later, another email. No subject, just the file. YouSleep2.mov. This time, it was filmed from a different angle, from inside his closet. Again, time-stamped at 3 a.m. The same whisper, closer now. "You move too much." He tried tracking the IP. It led nowhere. An encrypted offshore server. He contacted YouTube support. They couldn't trace the sender. Police told him unless there was a break-in, they couldn't help. He started sleeping on the couch. Lights on, security cams rolling. But by the next week, YouSleep3.move arrived, and the footage showed him sleeping on that same couch. Dylan stopped working. He stopped leaving his apartment altogether. He taped over his laptop webcam, unplugged his Alexa, even unscrewed his smoke detector, afraid of hidden cameras. But every night, new sounds, light clicks, floor creaks, a faint buzz, like a phone vibrating on silent. Then, one night, he woke at 3:17 a.m. to the faint glow of red light from inside the dark closet, blinking, recording. He ran forward, flung the doors open, nothing, just empty hangars. The light was gone. The next morning, a new file arrived. YouWake.move, footage of him opening the closet. When the detective arrived, Dylan showed him the footage. The cop leaned back, uneasy. "This could be staged," he said. "You're a filmmaker, right? You think I did this to myself? People do stranger things for attention." The words stung. They swept the apartment, found nothing. No cameras, no signs of entry. Still, the detective left his card. Dylan placed it on his desk and noticed something odd. A small, circular mark near the card's edge, almost like a lens reflection. He picked it up, squinting, and realized it was a tiny, embedded camera inside the card. When he looked up, the window across the street flashed. Once, like a camera shutter. Across from his apartment was another complex, identical lofts, most dark. He noticed one unit with a partial view of his windows, curtains half drawn, light always on at night. He started recording it from his desk. Hours of footage. Nothing moved. Until one night at 3 a.m., a shadow passed behind the curtain. Tall. Slow. The curtain parted slightly, revealing a lens staring directly at him. The next morning, YouFilmy.move arrived in his inbox. This time, it showed his camera pointed out the window, from the other building's perspective. Sleep-deprived and paranoid, Dylan set up multiple traps, motion sensors, hidden cams of his own. He recorded everything for 3 days. Then, his hard drive crashed. Every single file corrupted. When he restored the data, all his folders were renamed to the same word: scene. He smashed his laptop in panic. For weeks, he lived in his car, refusing to go home. But then, one day, a flash drive appeared on his windshield, taped there. No note. He plugged it into a borrowed computer at a library. It contained a single video file. Goodbye Dylan.mov. The footage showed his empty apartment, camera moving slowly toward the couch. On the wall, scribbled in black marker, were the words, "You're finally outside." The video ended. Months later, a new tenant moved into Dylan's old apartment. The landlord claimed the previous tenant disappeared owing rent. No missing person report filed. The new tenant found strange things. Dozens of small holes in the walls filled with epoxy. Scratched out timestamps carved into the window frame. And inside the smoke detector, a tiny SD card. When they viewed it, the card contained 21 videos, all labeled "You Sleep." The first 20 showed Dylan sleeping. The last one showed him awake, standing in front of the camera, whispering something too quietly to hear. When the audio was enhanced, his words became clear. "I see you now." Dylan Reese's case was never classified as a crime, No forced entry, no suspects. His channel remains untouched. The last upload dated February 2021. A tutorial titled, "How to Make Your Footage Look Real." The comments are still open. Every few months, a new user posts the same message. "You sleep 22.move is next." The footage was uploaded to a private Google Drive folder titled Coven Documentary Final Cut, time-stamped June 12, 2022. The file never made it to YouTube. By the time Oregon State Police got access, the footage had already been viewed over 50 times, mostly by journalists, true crime podcasters, and people from a private Discord group called True Terror Docs. The folder contained 6 hours of raw footage, all filmed on Sony FX3 cameras by 3 people. Liam Carter, 28, the documentary director, founder of Glass Eye Films, a small YouTube docu-channel known for exploring weird cults and fringe communities. Eden Lee, 26, cinematographer and sound operator, Liam's college friend. Mark Hawk Hawkins, 32, ex-military survivalist and drone operator, hired for safety and security. According to the metadata, all the footage was shot in Sweetwater Valley, Oregon, between June 1st and June 9th, 2022. After that date, all 3 vanished. The idea for the documentary came from a Reddit post. A user named u/thelastwitness97 wrote in r/paranormal documentary. "There's a group in Oregon calling themselves the Children of the Eclipse. They live off-grid, refuse contact with outsiders, and talk about something they call the convergence. My cousin disappeared after visiting them. Liam's channel had recently hit 200,000 subscribers after a series on abandoned hospitals went viral. He wanted something darker, something that felt real. So, they planned a 9-day field shoot in Oregon to investigate this alleged cult, to make their biggest documentary yet." Eden's journal, later found in her backpack, had this note scribbled on the first page. "This will either make our careers or ruin us completely." Day 1 footage starts with the trio driving into Sweetwater Valley, a foggy, wooded basin surrounded by endless pine forests. The camera captures a "Welcome to Sweetwater" sign rusting by the roadside, covered in bullet holes. Mark jokes, "Hell of a place to start a career, huh?" The locals weren't friendly. The first person they interviewed, a gas station owner named Harold Bixby, refused to talk about the cult. "You won't find them," he said flatly. "And if you do, don't go near them." That night, the crew rented an old Airbnb cabin just outside town. Liam set up the cameras to film their planning session. The mood was upbeat: cheap whiskey, bad jokes, and YouTube strategy talk. Eden, behind the camera, asked, "What if it's not real?" Liam smirked. "Then we make it real." That was the last moment in the footage that felt normal. Day 3 footage shows the team following a dirt road deep into the forest, guided by GPS coordinates sent by the anonymous Reddit user. The air is misty. The sound operator's mic keeps picking up static. At 2:36 p.m., they reach a hand-carved wooden sign nailed to a tree. "No trespassing. Children of the Eclipse." Behind it, narrow trails, makeshift tents, and wooden effigies shaped like human silhouettes with hollowed-out faces. Mark's camera catches a figure in the distance, standing still between the trees, wearing a white sheet-like robe. They call out. No answer. Liam approaches. The figure vanishes. When they review the footage later that night, the figure is still visible, but in every frame, its face is blurred, not censored, just unrecognizable. By day 5, things start to unravel. Eden complains of migraines. Mark stops sleeping. Liam becomes obsessed with finding the inter-camp audio logs from Liam's voice recorder reveal increasing paranoia. They're watching us. Every night I hear them outside the cabin, whispering, but the cameras show nothing. Eden saw lights in the woods, orange ones, flickering like fire. She says they hum. I think they're generators. I'm not leaving without getting the interview. Day 6 footage shows them setting up motion sensors around the cabin. At 3:12 a.m., one sensor triggers. The drone camera turns on automatically and captures 3 faint human shapes standing outside the cabin. Motionless. The footage glitches, static. When it resumes, the shapes are gone. On day 7, they finally meet someone. A middle-aged woman steps out from the woods wearing the same white robe. She introduces herself as Mara. Eden's camera records the entire conversation. Liam: what is the convergence? Mara: it's when the sun and moon agree. It's when the world stops pretending, Liam. And the children? Mara: we only follow the light. But you brought the dark with you. Her smile never changes. Then she says something off camera, too quiet to hear. Liam steps closer. The footage cuts. The next file starts hours later. Liam is alone, shaking, covered in mud. His voice trembles. Eden and Mark are gone. I don't know where. I woke up by the creek. Their bags are gone. The drone's gone. I need to leave. He tries to drive out of Sweetwater Valley, but every forest road loops back to the same clearing, the one with the no trespassing sign. The final clip ends abruptly. 3 months later, Liam is found wandering a highway outside Portland, malnourished, confused, no memory of the previous weeks. He insists the footage is still out there. In his hospital interview, he says, "It wasn't a cult. It was something else. They made me film it. They said the story had to be told, but not by me." When police searched Sweetwater Valley, they found the Airbnb cabin burned to the ground. No remains, no signs of Eden or Mark. The drive containing the footage was recovered from a dead laptop in Liam's backpack. He never opened it again. 6 months later, a 9-minute video appeared briefly on Liam's old YouTube channel Glass Eye Films, titled "The Documentary That Was Never Released." It was deleted within an hour, but over 12,000 people saw it before takedown. The video showed random clips, forests, faces, fire, then ended with text. The convergence begins. The channel has remained inactive ever since. The video was never supposed to be public. It was uploaded automatically by Twitch's backup system, a 3-hour live stream titled Night Walk Q&A by user at Matty on the Mic, a small-time IRL streamer from Seattle. By the time Twitch took it down, the clip had already spread to Reddit, Discord, and TikTok compilations under tags like #RealCrime, Live Tuna Cursed, Stream, Matty Stream. The footage shows what looks like a normal Friday night stream, until it doesn't. Madison Maddie Clark, 25, was known for her chill walking streams, chatting with her 14,000 followers while exploring Seattle nightlife. Funny, smart, and fearless, she'd become known for going live in sketchy areas others wouldn't. That night, January 14th, 2023, she planned a late-night urban exploration stream. Start time, 11:42 p.m. Category, IRL/just chatting. Her description read, "Let's go find some creepy spots around the city, maybe haunted, maybe just weird." It started normally. She joked with chat, sipped her energy drink, and walked through dimly lit alleys, holding her phone on a stabilizer. At the 27-minute mark, a viewer named Zero Frame commented, "Behind you." Maddie laughed. "Nice try, chat." She turned around anyway. Nothing there. The chat spammed laughing emojis. By 12:18 a.m., she wandered into Pierce Alley, an industrial stretch near the old shipping docks. Her viewers noticed something strange, faint static and distortion, as if the signal was being jammed. "You guys hearing that?" she said. The chat flooded. "Mic glitching. Sounds like breathing. Mute your mic." Her audio cleared after a few seconds, but the breathing didn't stop. Someone in chat typed, "There's a man behind that dumpster." She panned her camera toward the right. Only shadows. "It's just trash. Chill." But the stream timestamp shows something subtle. When she turned the camera back toward herself, a dark silhouette was visible behind her, standing completely still. None of the viewers noticed until the re-uploads. At 12:26 a.m., Maddie begins reading donations. She seems relaxed again, until she suddenly freezes. Her eyes shift off screen. You can hear faint footsteps. Slow, deliberate. Hey, can I help you?" Her voice shakes slightly. Off screen, a man's voice replies, deep, calm. "You're live, huh?" She forces a laugh. "Yeah, just streaming." The man says something inaudible. She steps back, pointing the camera slightly down. Chat starts spamming. "End stream. Call someone. Run, Maddie, run." But she doesn't. She tries to stay calm. "Okay, guys, I think I'm just gonna move somewhere brighter." She turns, starts walking fast. The camera shakes. A shadow follows in the distance. At 12:37 a.m., the stream briefly cuts. 2 seconds of total black screen. When it returns, she's standing near a bridge underpass, visibly panicked. Her phone battery indicator shows 11%. She whispers, "He followed me. I think he's still behind me." The chat explodes. Thousands watching live now. Someone donates $50 and types, "Share your location now." She tries. The GPS freezes. Another viewer writes, "Get to the 24/7 diner near 5th. Cops are there." Maddie nods, breath trembling. Okay, I'm going." The camera pans down for a second as she starts running. When it comes back up, the man's silhouette is visible again. Closer this time. He's not running, just walking. Slowly. At 12:44 a.m., the feed captures a final few seconds of clear video. She's on an empty road, streetlights flickering. You can hear her breathing hard. "Almost there! Almost!" Then, a scream. The camera jerks sideways. Heavy footsteps. The stream pixelates, glitching violently. For 6 seconds, there's nothing but static and muffled noise. Then the camera stabilizes, lying sideways on the ground. You can see her phone pointing toward the street. A man's boots walk into frame. He stops, looks down, then bends closer, his face barely visible under the flickering light. He looks directly into the camera and smiles. The stream ends. The clip went viral immediately. Within an hour, Reddit had re-uploads titled, "Streamer Gets Abducted Live. Real crime caught on Twitch." Where is Maddie Clark? Police arrived at Pierce Alley at 2:10 a.m. after multiple calls from viewers. They found her stabilizer and phone, screen cracked but still recording. The file was corrupted, except for the last 2 minutes. Fingerprint analysis confirmed the device had been touched by 2 people, Maddie and an unidentified male. 3 days later, security footage from a nearby gas station showed Maddie entering a convenience store alone, disoriented, covered in grime, barefoot. She refused to speak to anyone. When questioned by police, She said only one thing. He said the camera makes it real. She deleted her Twitch account a week later, moved out of Seattle. No one has heard from her since. The original Twitch VOD was deleted under Twitch TOS, Section 7.4, Prohibition of Real Violence. But backups of the video keep resurfacing, re-uploaded every few months on new channels. What's strange is that in every new upload, the ending is slightly different. In some versions, the man doesn't smile, he waves. In others, the camera pans upward just before it cuts. In one, you can faintly hear Maddie whisper, "Turn it off." Digital forensics teams insist these versions are edits, manipulations from re-uploaders. But none of the files have matching metadata, and all of them end with the same 4 seconds of audio, a faint, rhythmic tapping sound, like fingers on glass. The video is titled The Final Cut, a short horror film by Julian Cross. It was uploaded on March 4th, 2023, to a YouTube channel called Crossline Pictures, which had around 312,000 subscribers. The 17-minute film gained 4.8 million views in 3 days. Then it was deleted, and so was Julian Cross. Julian Cross was a 34-year-old independent horror director from Austin, Texas. He wasn't famous, but in the YouTube film scene, he was a legend. Known for gritty, realistic horror shorts like Room 19, Feed Me, and The Noise Under the Floor. His fans loved him because his films felt real. Too real. He used real locations, real abandoned houses, real untrained actors. His mantra was simple. If the audience can't tell if it's fake, you did your job. But in 2023, something changed. He stopped posting for almost a year. Then one day, without warning, his channel went live again with a cryptic community post. "My next film is the truth. No actors, no script, just reality." The title, The Final Cut. According to production assistant Lydia Shaw, Julian had rented an abandoned textile factory outside Austin for 2 weeks. No one else was allowed on set except Lydia and one camera operator named Ben Lang. Lydia told police later, "He didn't sleep. He said he wanted the fear to be real." The script was only 3 pages long, mostly notes like isolation, distortion, surrender. He finds the tape. The light should feel wrong. Every day, Julian filmed himself walking through the factory, recording whispers, old machines, and shadows. He talked to the camera as if it were alive. In one clip, he looks directly into the lens and says, "Do you think I can make something so real it eats me alive?" When the final cut premiered, fans thought it was a masterpiece, a single take, one location. Julian alone in the factory, filming himself as the line between filmmaker and subject slowly breaks. He talks about feeling watched, about something moving between the frames. Around the 11-minute mark, there's a shot where he's looking into a mirror, but when he moves, the reflection doesn't. People thought it was visual effects, until tech YouTuber Luke Han Dev ran a frame-by-frame analysis. No compositing, no digital editing, completely raw camera footage. A Redditor named u/audio paradox extracted the film's audio and discovered a buried layer of reversed sound between 1421 and 1439. When reversed, it says, "It's watching me now. Keep the camera running." That discovery turned the final cut into a viral phenomenon. Millions debated whether Julian had actually gone insane during filming. And then, 3 days later, his channel vanished. So did he. Police entered the factory on March 10th. Inside, they found his gear: 2 Sony FX6s, lighting kits, and half a dozen hard drives. The cameras were still rolling, but Julian wasn't there. Only his jacket, folded neatly on the ground. One camera had recorded an additional 2 hours of unseen footage. Investigators never released it, but leaked descriptions from someone inside the department mention the sound of Julian's voice repeating, "Cut, cut, cut," his reflection in the mirror continuing to speak even after he walks away. The final shot of an empty room and a faint whisper saying, "Upload complete." 2 months later, fans began reporting that the final cut reappeared on random YouTube channels under different names. Same film, same timestamp. But in each version, Julian looks slightly older. His beard longer, his eyes sunken. One upload, posted by an account called Last Light Archive, had an ending that wasn't in the original cut. It shows Julian sitting cross-legged in the dark, facing the camera. He whispers, "You kept watching." That's how it spreads. Then he looks directly into the lens. "You're part of it now," and smiles faintly before the screen cuts to black. The video was deleted within an hour. The channel disappeared minutes later. No trace in YouTube's archive. Some fans believe Julian's disappearance was a stunt, a viral ARG. Others think the final cut was cursed footage, or an experiment in collective paranoia. But Lydia, his assistant, said in her final interview, that film was never uploaded. He didn't have Wi-Fi there. I was the one who packed the gear. I saw him take the SD cards out. When the video appeared online, I was still driving home. She never spoke publicly again. A data analyst recovered a fragment from one of Julian's drives. The final frame of the final cut, just one image, a static shot of the empty factory, except for a figure in the far corner, partially visible, standing perfectly still. Zoomed in, the figure looks exactly like Julian, only his eyes are completely black. The file name, finalcut_. You are watching.mp4.